Hello, hello. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday, August 25th, 2026. I'm Manila Chan. That'd be Ted Rall, producer Robby lurking in the background. Today actually is Robby, it's your son's 17th birthday. Little Robby.
Yep, it is. He is at he went to senior sunrise this morning, and he's having breakfast now with his friends. And once that's over, as soon as the show's ending, we're going to the recruitment office. I'm going to go with him,
Good.
and we're just going to see what's going to happen. And but he's made it clear he's doing it with or without my consent. So
Happy birthday to mini Robby.
yep.
Except can they do that at 17 without your consent?
Well, so it's they. So here's the thing about it: like he can't go to boot camp or anything. But what they do is they consider it kind of like a light enlistment. So a lot of the classes and stuff that you would normally have to do, you can do it early. So to go out to Missoula, and he would be able to do training for whatever MOS is he signs up for, gets approved for, has to do the ASVAB. So
Yep.
he's able to do all the schoolwork now. So that way, once they get through boot camp, they'll actually will start off with a pay raise and this other stuff. And so that's the
Yeah,
carrot
he's a
that they're
smart kid.
dangling.
He's a smart kid. He'll test well, and that'll get him off the front line because surely, I think in the next 2 years before Donald Trump leaves office, he's foolish enough to send boots on the ground to Iran. And we don't want mini Robby on the front if we can avoid it. Well, I don't want anybody on the front in Iran if we can avoid it because they have a real army. I'm not sure if Trump heard that or if Pete Hegseth knows that.
Well, I was talking to him last night. He said he wants to go. He says he doesn't want the party to end before he gets in. I said, be careful what you wish for because you might just get it.
And
That
he,
is,
I
it is
mean,
no bueno.
is he aware of the fact that like Iran
Is a
hasn't
real
done-
country?
hasn't done anything to us?
Well, he has the Republican and the Democrat talking points that they're responsible for the deaths of thousands of American soldiers. Sure, but those were soldiers in Iraq. They were not here.
Right.
And so if you are fighting an occupation force, by definition, that's what happens. But no,
Those people were killed by indigenous resistance forces. Those people are national heroes.
It's us going
the Iraqis
to their
and
land.
their Iranian allies.
It doesn't matter. Like I talked to him about, it says my country, right or wrong, and the rest of the world should get on its knees and follow America. I mean, that's what we're talking about. It's like that's not how that happens. And I said, I hate to tell you, but you're joining the military of an empire in decline.
Yep.
And you are. I hope that you realize what is it you're doing, and if you don't get killed when this is over, I won't tell you I told you so, and I'll love you, and I hope you get your life put back together.
I mean, I hope he understands that. I mean, there are great reasons to join the military. Not one of them. Hoping. I will. I'll name 20. Ted, give me a second. Give me a second. But the first thing is, I hope he doesn't go to the front line. I hope nobody goes to the front line because there are ways that will infinitely destroy his life.
He's not going to be able to control that. If they want to send him, they will.
Well, because
no. Stop. There are 50 million jobs, Ted, that are not front lines. Not everybody is out there kicking down doors.
True.
For kids like Robby's son, my family, my husband, for a lot of people from our backgrounds, going into the military can be possibly the best thing you can do if there are no other options. And I'll tell you why. For example, you can get an education there that you wouldn't otherwise be able to afford. You would come out not owing a penny for however many degrees, depending on how you test in and what jobs you can get. When you come out of the military, depending on the job that you had, you can have great civilian job opportunities that I know Thomas wants to do. Like, for example, my brother-in-law is a Marine, as they say. Forever, once a Marine, always a Marine, right? And he was, I believe he was a helicopter mechanic. I mean, you can find jobs being a helicopter mechanic in the military. You can find tons of jobs once you come out. I have other active duty currently, members of the military who work. I call him a hacker, but I mean he's basically a computer whiz, and he's in his 40s now, and he's about to retire, and he's going to have buttloads of jobs that are already clamoring to hire him when he comes out because of his basically, we call it white hat hacking, but he's going to have multiple six-figure job opportunities once he retires out of the military.
Maybe.
And he doesn't he already has them, Ted. It's not a maybe. He has them. You get multiple job opportunities when you come out because there are a lot of preferential job offers to people that are veterans. You get some better, some worse, none really great, but you still will get VA benefits for your whole life. And then your children can get them. So those are just to name a few. But more importantly, if you get the skills there, you're going to, for some guys, that is some of the best times of their lives. If they're not at the front line, even for some guys, though, I know many that were at the front lines in Iraq and Afghanistan. And even still, they consider that some of the best times of their lives because of the camaraderie and whatever they experience. So, it's not because they believe in, maybe in Thomas's case, he's a kid and he's buying into the talking points, but most people don't join the military because they have this deep political belief, or, they believe whoever's in the Oval Office. They don't believe that. What they're looking for is a way out from where they are.
Thomas is looking for an adventure. That's what he's looking for. He's looking for an adventure. Him and his friends are taking advantage of the new buddy recruitment program that the Pentagon is going out, and they want to go into recon, specifically armored recon, is what he was talking to me about last night. So he does not have any interest in the IT stuff that you're talking about with your white hat hacker. That's not what Thomas wants to do. He said that he wants to go to the front. He wants to defend America and kill the nation's enemies. That is what he told me.
But that's verbatim. Right. And in his case, I think that's a very sophomoric, childish way to look at it. And he is a kid. He's 17. He doesn't understand the complexity.
Which is why 17-year-olds should not be permitted to be people who are not allowed to vote.
Buy cigarettes?
And buy cigarettes or vape should not be allowed to join the military.
He's a kid. He doesn't understand the if those are his reasons for going, that's something I personally wouldn't support. If his true intent was because I want opportunities, I know there's jobs that
that's not a good reason. Let's just say for the sake, for moral reasons alone. Oh, I don't know. Oh, the SS offers awesome opportunities for this and that. The SS even offered sex with hot ladies. And I don't know, it doesn't really seem like a good reason. But Mom, I had to go kill Jews because I wanted to get laid with hot blondes. That literally that was a thing. That's not a fair
comparison, Ted.
No, it's not. Really? Why not? Why?
No.
How is it not?
So you're
what
calling
is the
all
difference?
all of the U.S. military, you're calling them fucking Nazi soldiers? That's...
I am not calling them Nazi uniform soldiers because they're not wearing swastikas. But am I going to say that they are morally above?
You're saying they're tantamount to being. You're saying they're tantamount to being Nazi soldiers.
Yes, I am. That's right. Because the U.S. military doesn't serve any purpose whatsoever than to oppress and kill people who don't mean us any harm or ill will whatsoever, which is exactly like the German military.
That's not the boots on the ground.
How is it not?
The economic situation that drives people into turning to the U.S. military is not from the boots up. It's from the top down. It's from whether it's people at the Pentagon. It's the
same thing was true
about the unelected bureaucrats that take us to war in lands that we have no business being in. I agree with that. I agree with that sentiment 100%. But it doesn't change the fact that we have a standing military that offers fantastic
The U.S. military hasn't defended the United States since the War of 1812.
I'm not with any war, and you know that. But at the end of the day, if a kid, the way Robby's describing why his son wants to go, I don't agree with. I think it's a childish view of the world, and he is a kid. So I get that that's why he has this view of the world. But
Yeah,
For
kids
other
kids
kids
are gonna do kid shit. This
for
is
other
kid shit.
kids for other kids, they are well aware that this is a bunch of bullshit out there and that the military, they know that this is their way out. For a
Okay,
lot
so
of
but
kids,
again,
this is their
so
way
what? What about
out
so
of
how
the
is that
shit.
different? Again, so let's just say the sake. I mean, first of all, I am from fucking Rust Belt, post-industrial,
Oh, so
opioid destroyed America. I did go and talk to the Army recruiting people. So, I mean, it's not theoretical for me. And you know, when I heard what they had to say, it's a pile of malarkey. I mean, first of all, the college benefits are dog shit. The salaries are low. If you want to, let's just say, like, if you're willing to leave your hometown, you know, you could make 50 grand a year moving to a major city. And you know what? If you join the army, you're going to have to move anyway to like the Middle East. Okay. So you're going to have to leave your hometown either way. So that's a wash. And it's like, even if I don't accept that argument at all. There's not ways to have an adventure other than joining the military. You could join the Peace Corps. You can backpack and work all over the world. There's many countries where colleges and universities have free or close to free tuition and board for Americans who are willing to move there and study abroad. There are trade apprenticeship programs all over the world. There's work exchange programs where you can go work overseas. I know lots of people who've done that. They get a job doing this and that wherever, and they get a visa and they get to stay there, and they can go and meet foreign people and not kill them. It's like, but even if none of that were true, you know, so fucking what? It's like if the choice came, if you told me that the choice was, if you told me that, like, took me back like 1981 to Dayton, Ohio, and you said, Ted, it's either, you know, you're going to either be working at Wendy's, you know, in the back for the rest of your life, or you're going to go kill people. Morally, I should work at Wendy's the rest of my life. It's like how is it like morally acceptable to say I am going to go and kill people or participate in a machine? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm working for an organization where I may not. Okay, if I'm helping killers, I am an accessory. If I'm driving the getaway car from the bank robbery, I'm an accessory. If you're a cook in the U.S. Army, you're helping killers. I mean, that's what the United States military is, a giant assassination squad. You're being hired as assassins. You're literally being told, go and kill this person who has never done you personally or your family any wrong, means you no ill will, because I say so. That's literally the job.
Ted, I mean, I don't know if it was before or after you became a communist, or maybe back when you were young as a socialist, but you went to work for a big Japanese bank, a Japanese investment bank. And I'm sure fast forward to 2010, 2011, you would have been one of these guys protesting Wall Street, you know,
and I was.
So look, like I said, you took that opportunity.
And my bank didn't kill anyone, as far as I know.
But my point is, you have proclaimed morals, but you took the opportunity to work there because the opportunity was there to make money. And sometimes people need to make those decisions. And Peter, thank you for the donation. Peter says, my daughter was a clerk for the helicopter mechanics. Her husband is a helicopter pilot, but in the Army. That's cross-pollination there, Peter. P.W. Walker says, the fact that we're viewing the military as a social mobility program tells you everything about the state of the West, because it ain't just the USA now. That's true. I mean, like I said, it's been that case for a long time. The poorest kids are always the ones that go to the military. It's not. I mean, you're not seeing any of the Trump kids or Donald Trump himself having gone to the military. That ain't happening.
He had his chance.
Anna says, Ted's stance is not valid. We need level-headed guys and gals with morals in the military as well. If not, it'll be full Hegseth and Zionist Christians. That's true too. So you need people. You can't have all these like hardcore Hegseths, a bunch of Pete Hegseths, like, yeah, with like neo-Nazi tattoos on them.
No Hegseths, no liberals. Nobody should enlist at all.
My point is, the military exists. There's an infrastructure there that's been there for a long time that gives a lot of benefits to a lot of kids that would otherwise have no other
There's
means that
nothing
they
that they
can
get in the
see,
military that they couldn't
that
get
they can
somewhere else.
that
Nothing.
they can't find their way out, so this is their way out. And I'm just saying not everybody believes. I think the vast majority of the US military currently right now does not support what's happening in Iran. Cue the USS Abraham Lincoln with fucking sailors jumping off ship. Like, people don't agree with what's going on, but the infrastructure is there, and they take those opportunities just as you took your opportunity to work at the Japanese
Okay, but
investment bank
again, I wasn't
despite
part
being
of
a communist.
which, by the way, I totally hated that job, and I hated having to work there. It was that or no work at all. That's not the situation, though. The military isn't like offering people. There's literally nothing it offers that you can't get somewhere else. Nothing.
What I'm going to try and convince Thomas into doing is going into the construction corps as opposed to recon. So go into a spot in the military where you will learn a trade, specifically not IT, because like those IT jobs you're talking about, Manila, they're going to be replaced by AI within 5 years. They're going away. They're going to need humans for that. So what I'm going to try to do is get them into welding, construction, something that AI cannot replace.
They have those jobs.
I understand. And so that's what I'm going to try and do. If you want to have your adventure, it's fine. You want to go to Qatar, don't go there driving a tank doing reconnaissance. Go there and learn how to build runways or how to weld. Something that will teach you a trade that you're able to get once you leave. At least that is something that would be tangible. And to your point about Ted, working for the bank did kill Americans because the Japanese were flooding the United States with cheap steel and killing American industry. And a lot of Americans lost their jobs, committed suicide, or drunk themselves to death. So that wasn't a victimless crime either. It's just where we are now. We live in an imperial system. There's the middle class is hollowed out. It doesn't exist. The industrial base is hollowed out. We can't even make missiles anymore because China has all the rare earth that we need. And they make the microchips for the weapons that we need to one day fight them. So think about how retarded that is. So none of this makes any sense. It's completely upside down. And so now Trump's like, well, let's have the magic deportation bus. And let's rename Lake Ontario to Lake America and impose a 50% tariff on Canadian wildfire smoke. So none of this makes any sense. It's retarded.
Right. So the point is, the kid is going to do what the kid is going to do.
Well, that's for sure.
You can't fully exactly stop him. I mean, you have a young adult son, Ted. You can't stop these kids. They're going to do what they're going to do.
That's true. There's nothing there. No, I'm not blaming Robbie. There's nothing.
The best you can do.
Nothing he can do.
The best you can do is make the best of whatever those choices are.
I told Thomas to join ICE. Listen, if you want to travel to foreign countries, Miami is about as foreign as it can get, and you don't even need a passport. So seriously, join ICE. You pick up the chicks. You'll be able to have your balaclava. You'll be able to have your vest. You can go through and you can find all the immigrants that you want. And the best part is
shock gloves.
And the best part is you're actually dealing with people
very fashionable. I heard.
You're actually dealing with people who are invaders. If you want to defend your country, then join ICE and go after the people who are invading the country. You don't have to go to Oman and do it there, because then you're the invader. So there's a right way and a wrong way to do this.
That's right. But again, he's seeing it. He's a kid, and he's seeing the propaganda, which is so strong, obviously. So strong still. Even with you being his dad, he still has bought into that mainstream propaganda of what the left-right paradigm and
he called
America
me he called me a traitor.
I know. I've heard him say it. I know. I've been on the phone with you and I've heard him say it, and I'm like, oh boy, you've got a lot to learn still, but he'll learn it, and I just pray that he's right at that age where, I mean, seriously, I do think there's a strong chance that Trump and Hegseth take us boots on the ground, all in on Iran, and
we'll be fucked.
It'll
make Vietnam look awesome.
It'll be horrific.
I think Trump's is going to cancel the elections.
That's what I think.
I think he's going to cancel them. I think that he's going to manufacture something.
I think he has to.
Yeah, and then at that point, if
he's going to pull a Zelensky, is what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean,
that's exactly right.
It's an incredibly stable way to have a democracy.
True.
Well, Ukraine is the beacon of democracy.
I know.
Nothing says democracy like one party.
And no elections. So anyway,
sounds like the Soviet Union.
We're not lacking for opinions on this show. It's fairly democratic, I would say. Small d. All right, so let's get to the topics.
No, I'll just to be clear here, Robby's blameless in all this. And Thomas is blameless as well. I mean, by definition, if Thomas were to kill someone not out, like freelance, not being ordered to do so by the military, at his current age, he would
like
not
robbing
be
a liquor store.
Let's say, whatever. He decides to kill someone. He would not be fully responsible because he's under 18 and he would be sent to juvenile court in all civilized, like liberal states, right? So, like, the thing is, we all understand that a 17-year-old isn't a fully developed adult. So it's a fucking outrage that the federal government says like, oh, we're going to go ahead and allow 17-year-olds who can't rent a car to go and they can't get car insurance. To go and join the military. I mean, they're doing this because they know we've talked, Manila, you and I have talked about how your brain's not developed until you're 25. You shouldn't be able to make a decision as consequential as joining the military until you are 25.
Contracts are null and void at least till 18, so they're invalid. Right. So I don't know how the exception is made here for someone that's 17. And 17 on the day. Like, this is, but what can you do? Anyway, we got to move on to the stories. I wish Thomas a happy 17th birthday and many, I pray to God, many, many, many more birthdays to come.
Of course.
But geez, like it would terrify me, being in Robby's shoes because of who is in the office right now at the Oval Office and what we're looking at.
Well, the odds are overall pretty good, right? I mean, 99% of people who serve in the military come out and they're okay.
Sure.
But the thing is, when you're talking about life and death, 99% is not really good odds. You know what I mean? It's like the downside risk is so awful. And that's what I hate about it.
The worst part about it is that you take this oath to serve the Constitution, but no one in our government serves the Constitution. Too. I mean, well, that's the point I'm making. Is that symbolic? It doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah, it's a lie.
And at the end of the day, he will be a mercenary, fighting for Halliburton, fighting for Israel, fighting for BlackRock. You'll be doing these things. You will be
in illegal wars, undeclared wars.
You will be a piece of equipment that you can then go off and do. And I talked to him last night. I just said, guard your heart, guard your mind. And if you ever are asked to do something or told to do something truly heinous, you have the right to refuse an illegal order. Even if that means you have to get
objector.
Although in reality, they really kind of like don't let you do that.
No, I mean, he'd be court-martialed. But I mean, I would rather be court-martialed instead of kill a kid.
Agreed.
Sure. Conscientious objector. All right, let's get to the stories.
Although you're not really allowed. He wouldn't be allowed to be a conscientious objector. He doesn't have the religious background for it.
I don't know. They're pretty.
You have to be like specifically Quaker, right?
I don't know, but I think as long as you proclaim that this is
that's not how it is anymore at all. It used to be like that. They changed it. It's like it's not a get out of jail free card anymore.
I don't even know what's I just can't fathom.
It's also such a long. Here's the other thing too. It's such a long commitment, right? Like typically you sign a 4-year contract, and then if you decide you're done, and they decide that they'll let you go because they don't have to, then you're in the reserves for 4 more years. And then if there's a stopgap measure, what is it called? Stop loss. If there's a stop loss declaration, which happens from time to time, there was one under the, not war on terror under Bush, then that can go on indefinitely. So here you are, 17, 18 years old, and basically they've got your nuts in a vice until you're well into your 30s. I mean, that sucks.
Potentially. But,
well, I mean,
we'll see.
Certainly until you're, no question, until you're 24, right?
Well,
26.
21.
26.
26. Why 26?
8 years. 4 plus 4.
Oh, I thought they're mostly 4 years.
18. He'll be 18, and then it's 4 plus 4 in the reserves, right?
Yeah, I wish that my dad was still alive.
So you're in the reserves, guaranteed, right? So they can have you back. And I mean, I'm just saying that is and the thing is, you have no freedom whatsoever in terms of where you work. They, what you do.
They cart you around, and post you
it's entirely up to them. And I mean, it's just, I don't understand why people take this. I mean, if people look, let me put this clearly. And I wrote about this in my column for this week because I was so inspired by this whole conversation over Thomas. If you viewed this as a job, which is how most Americans do view it, who join the military, about 150 to 200,000 Americans join the military every year. And most of them are not getting into it because they think the country is in trouble and needs to be defended from evil brown people. They do it for the employment opportunities and the benefits and all that. So if you view it as just a job, it doesn't compare well to a zillion other jobs. Even go to trade school or whatever. So
we got to get on with the rest of the show.
Sorry, I'm like, I admit that this makes me very spicy. It really it's as a parent too, it enrages me. How the government is taking advantage of impressionable young minds and lying to them and misdirecting them. I mean, it's disgusting.
I mean, but it's the whole infrastructure of the media. Like Robby just outlined why Thomas believes what he believes is because he's being.
It's also culture. I guarantee you, if the kid wasn't going to school in Montana, if he was going to school in Lower
New York
Manhattan,
City,
he wouldn't have a bunch of friends who all wanted to go and enlist, right?
Fuck them.
It's culture.
Yeah, well, of course. I mean,
the political culture is conservative and militaristic, and people brag. You can't help but notice all the people driving around with their bumper stickers or license plates, bragging about being vets or whatever. I mean, that's all. It's. What is it like? It's Palmolive. You're soaking it.
It's a brotherhood and people and lifelong camaraderie and the same way, like douchebags at Yale or whatever join, fraternities. It's a different kind of fraternity. That's how a lot of young guys view it.
I mean, for me, and
this organization is. You might not personally be killing anybody, but you're part of an organization whose job is to exert military, economic, and cultural hegemony over innocent people around the world. That's what it is. That's the purpose of this organization. It does not exist for any other purpose. It is purely expansionist and aggressive. It does not defend the country. I mean, if it did, you wouldn't have 19 assholes with box cutters able to fly all over U.S. airspace for 2.5 fucking hours having a good time. Okay? I mean, it's like, we don't defend our own country at all. We're just attacking other countries.
Robby, go ahead. I'll give you the last word, and then we got to do the stories.
I mean, for me, a lot of this, I understand, is projection from the way that I grew up. Because my dad was a Korean War veteran. And one of the reasons why he drunk as much as he did is because our
Robby,
military.
We don't see or hear you.
I can hear Robby and see Robby.
Oh, I don't see him or hear him.
Oh, weird. Yeah, I'm here. When he went through the Korean War, he saw and did a lot of horrible things. And
really strange. I don't see him at all or hear him at all.
Oh, and try pressing the refresh button, Ted. But So I mean, a lot of that is I don't want the military to break him the way they broke my dad. That's a big part of it.
Sure. I think no, it's a softer, gentler military now, Robby.
Well, it's not because my dad. I've only saw my dad cry twice in my whole life. One time he was drunk. He was passed on. He was drunk on the couch. He was crying, and he told me this story that happened just outside of Busan. So he was the North Koreans had pushed the Americans, what was left of the ROK army, back into the perimeter, and there was this little village on the other side of the Taegu River. And so what the North Koreans started doing is that they killed the guys. They're trying to provoke a response because they tried to take this hill that my dad's unit was on. They couldn't take it. They were just too entrenched. And so they killed the guys, and then they started killing the women. And then they started bringing out babies. They started band-aiding the babies because they knew that would trigger a response from the Americans. And the lieutenant was just like, boys, I can't order you. Our orders are to stay here on this hill, but we have a choice here. That we go there, we save those kids, or we just let them all die. And so they went in, they attacked. They were able to save a bunch of the kids, but they took like 80% casualties doing it. And my dad was there. He got 3 Purple Hearts that day. No, he got tore up. And there were just tears coming out of his eyes. He said, I wish I had never gone because my country never said thank you for this.
Yeah. Well, that's a reality that, Thomas will have to reckon with when he's older, when he's old and when his brain, when his prefrontal cortex finishes developing and he can process, his
just in time for him to be out of the reserves.
Right. After he processes all of that, and it'll take time, but most young men.
Fuck that economic argument, though. Fuck that argument.
I know. Most young men that I know that came out don't regret it, and for some people, it was like the best decision that they made, and they're way better off for it now. So, just saying, different strokes for different folks, Ted. All right. So this, yeah. Well, I mean, it just is different strokes. So, like, here's one that we missed last week. I don't know how this show missed it, but we forgot it. So Riley English, this is something Robby's gonna this is multifaceted. Riley English, a 26-year-old transgender woman, so meaning bio male, identifies as female, from Massachusetts, was sentenced to 73 months in prison for bringing a knife and 2 Molotov cocktails to the U.S. Capitol in a plot to kill nobody less than Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. I didn't even know that, like, people thought of murdering him.
Well, I mean, if he were murdered, Manila, how could we tell?
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he comes out like once a quarter and gives a speech and then goes away. So how do you even think, like, I'm gonna plot to assassinate someone? I'm gonna pick Scott Bessent. Like,
right. Of all the people in the United States government, he's an interesting choice.
Like, how do you arrive?
Or perhaps he's an interestingly uninteresting choice.
Right. I just don't get the mind of this Riley English. Like, how I would want to interview Riley English and ask, Riley, of all the Pete Hegseths, like the Kushners, like all the people in Trump world, why Scott Bessent? Like, he gave Elon Musk a black eye.
I mean, if you walked into a bar and you said, like, hey, everybody, I'll give you a free beer. You get a free drink of your choice if you can tell me who the Secretary of the Treasury is right now.
Right. So
I think I'm not spending. I don't think I'm buying a lot of beers.
No one's getting a free beer. So Riley English arrived on January 27th, 2025. So shortly after the inauguration, while Bessent's Senate confirmation was underway. So especially then, given this time frame, like in January, like literally nobody knew who Scott Bessent was. Scott Besant wasn't
Riley
even
English
confirmed.
did. Riley English had a hard on for Scott.
I did not
Besant.
know who Scott Besant was until after. Like, I'd never heard of him. Like, I don't even know what his career was prior to this. So how Riley English knew, I don't know. According to prosecutors, she had been considering political violence for at least a month and told police that she was inspired by Luigi Mangione, the man accused of murdering United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Apparently, assassination plots like to come with sequels. As we know, there's copycats. English had considered killing Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. Okay, so there you go. And considered House Speaker Mike Johnson, but he's too wee of a man, and he was just like, pew, 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 just can't catch him.
Also, how could you tell he was dead?
Like how, or he considered burning down the Heritage Foundation.
Now that sounds good to me. I've got to admit,
murder.
I would bring a stick and a bag of marshmallows for that.
Just burn down the Heritage Foundation. After spotting a post about Besant's confirmation, she switched targets and headed to the Capitol armed with a folding knife, a lighter, and 2 vodka bottle two Molotov cocktails. Mm-hmm. Then the plot hit an obstacle. English decided to just surrender
That's not
their
really
self.
The plot hitting an obstacle. That's really, I mean, that's not a good way to put it at all. But okay.
So English
then
decided to
she changed her mind.
Themselves to the police.
She could have just gone home, right?
I know. I don't.
She could have just been like, fuck it, and then poured out the Molotov.
Like, you know what? I have second thoughts. I'll just drink the vodka instead, and just fucking get back to it.
Keep the folding knife for personal use and leave it at that.
So the devices probably would not have ignited. Besant was not at the Capitol, and nobody was hurt. The judge said the plan had, quote, an exceedingly low or non-existent chance of succeeding. English cited mental illness, drug abuse, and pleaded guilty to 2 weapons charges and apologized in court. Prosecutors wanted 121 months. The judge imposed 73 plus 3 years of supervised release with credit for the nearly 20 months already served. So a failed plan is still a plan. Political violence does not become harmless because the weapons were lousy and the assassin reconsidered at the door.
Well, actually, it does. By definition, the political violence becomes harmless when you turn yourself in and you decide, and you change your mind. Yes,
the lack of harm makes it harmless. I think by definition.
You are allowed to think about. She must have had a terrible attorney. I mean, the lack of harm. Of course, there's no harm. I mean, I can think of this, I can think of that, but if I don't do it, then I mean, I didn't do it. It's like
the fact that nobody was harmed makes it harmless
by definition, right? Of course, it's harmless.
So and Tara Preda says Scott Besant destroyed the currency of Great Britain for Soros. He's an excellent choice for justice. Mr. Lee says Besant tried to bring down Hong Kong. Really? How did anyone even know who Scott Besant was before he got this job? I'd never heard of him. I'd never seen him before.
It was part of Soros's Great Society. He was one of his money men.
Really?
He would short currencies all the time.
He had I really never heard of him until Trump said that he was going to, like put him up for Treasury Secretary. And I was like, another gay man. And I was like, wow, Trump is surrounding himself with the gays.
Well, he is the most pro-gay president in American history.
True.
And he openly brags about it. And so
that is true. Richard Grenell.
Yep. So, I mean.
Very, very true. Which, by the way, I met Richard Grenell last year at CPAC. And he's a big dude. He's a big, like, he's not, if people think he's like a little, and Scott Besant is a big dude because I've seen him.
Yeah, Scott Besant's like a lurchy dude, yeah.
Yeah, like next to Elon, and Elon's not a little dude. But Grenell is a big guy. He's like 6'2", 6'3", and like, he's a beefy man. He's not like so Trump surrounds himself with bears.
Yeah.
All I'm gonna say.
Well, I mean, okay, listen, 6 years, Manila, is ridiculous. Okay. I mean, You don't think? I
For
mean,
a plot?
For a plot that you yourself decided not to go through with.
That's 6 years. Is that how many months? I didn't do
years.
math.
Yes, it's 6 years and 1 month. It is insane. I mean, this is like
that's long for.
It's 6.
Yeah, for having thoughts.
For doing nothing.
Maybe
for having wrong thoughts.
Maybe he will get the mental health that he needs and realize he's not a girl.
Not in prison.
Maybe he can get his head on straight. Maybe he can be rehabilitated and maybe get out in like a year, because I'm going to tell on this. He didn't do anything. I mean, he's crazy.
Yeah.
He's a nut. So, I mean, if I was a defense attorney, so Your Honor, I submit that my client is insane. For one thing, the dude thinks he's a girl. So right there, he's crazy.
Well, that is actually a case that would have been part of my case. I would have been like,
because it's true.
Transgender people have a higher than average rate of mental illness. This person themselves said they were mentally ill. There's probably some sort of paper trail.
Oh, I'm sure there is. He's
right,
self-medicating.
Like all Zorps are zips, but not all zips are Zorps.
I mean, he says he's doing drugs. He's on alcohol. I mean, God knows. I mean, the dude's out of his mind.
Yeah, she's not right. She's not right.
They apparently came clean, told the Capitol Police everything. And
even the plot doesn't make any sense, and even turning
Molotov cocktails,
herself in doesn't make any sense. You know,
how were you gonna kill Scott Bessent with a folding knife and 2 Molotov cocktails?
Right. I mean, basically, she didn't think anything through.
How do you be murdering Scott Bessent?
6 years. I mean, I wouldn't have given her 6 weeks.
Ted, why are you calling him her? It's not a her.
Because she's self-identified as a she.
It's a dude.
It's a courtesy.
So
I don't know. Have you seen her schlong? Do you know?
It's a crazy person who tried to assassinate
I personally
George
haven't conducted
Soros'
a DNA test. I don't know.
The judge really should have imposed some mental health order in there to you have to seek therapy or whatever once you're out. Yeah. But 6 years is a long time. I didn't do the math, but it was 73 months.
6 years. They're fucking insane. Not to mention, honestly, I think, let's just say she had succeeded in killing Scott Bessent. 6 years is too long. It's Scott Bessent. I mean,
I didn't know all these people knew who Scott Bessent was.
Scott Bessent, maybe a few, maybe 6 weeks, to don't do it again. Don't let it happen again.
I guarantee you Scott Bessent is responsible for thousands and thousands of suicides.
No, he's a very bad person.
I really I haven't looked into Scott Bessent. I don't know anything about Scott Bessent other than he's a very polished, put together gay man. That's all I know. Very, very, nice teeth, nice full lips, taut skin.
Unfortunately, we're on YouTube, so I can't say what I want to say about Scott Bessent, because I would get us blown up on YouTube. And now that I'm probably have to go to YouTube with my gaming channel, I got to play nice. Yeah. But no, Scott Bessent.
That's all I know.
Scott Bessent should be executed. I mean, the guy is a pirate, an actual pirate.
Tried? You mean lawfully through the courts, tried, and then given the...
No, he should be Luigi'd. No, someone should just pop his ass.
I don't know anything about it, so I can't agree or disagree. I don't know. I don't know anything other than he's a pretty big man.
Manila, read up about it, because he's one of those people.
Now my interest, I'm curious because
he's a vulture. That's what he is.
I guarantee you that if your ancestral homeland Laos came up on the radar for George Soros, then he would have destroyed that country and its economy and wrecked it.
But again, I never thought to think of Scott Bessent. Why would I? Right? Of all the people that you wish death to in the Trump administration.
We are 49 minutes into this show, and I know a lot of that is my fault.
I know.
It's your fault.
Pissed off about the military, but nevertheless, I want to atone for my sins.
So
and
Scott Bessent,
that we move
I don't know. I don't know. This I don't know anything about. I don't know what he deserves. I just know that this was a strange case.
He deserves death. He deserves death.
Strange case, and we missed it. We missed it last week.
He should be hung by the neck until dead. If we had a justice system as opposed to a legal system, that queer would be hung by the neck.
Okay. All right, then. Democratic Senate nominee Abdul El Sayed spent the weekend demonstrating that a medical degree doesn't include training in social media restraint. The progressive candidate is taking heat after dragging Second Lady Usha Vance and White House aide Natalie Harp into fights with VP J.D. Vance and President Trump. This all began with Vance during an Ohio speech, when Vance attacked Sayed's comments about Sharia law and said that his positions would be foreign to the Democratic Party of his papa. Sayed fired back. So, do we think JD is taking Usha with him back in time to meet papa, or no? Critics interpreted that as a crack about how Vance's white grandfather might have reacted to his Indian American wife. Republicans called the remark racist. Democrats, I think actually I wouldn't call it racist. I'd call it calling it like race, sort of. He's a cute. I don't know what you would call it. Like this was an attempt to attack someone else as racist, right? Democrats supporting Sayed's opponent, Mike Rogers, called it sexist. Sayed's campaign didn't have much to say. Hours earlier, Sayed had asserted Harp into his feud with Trump after Trump attacked him for campaigning with Hassan Piker. Sayed wrote, "Natalie, I think he's had a little too much iPad for the week. He needs his rest." That jab played on Harp's role as an aide who helps manage Trump's social media. It also arrived amid tabloid speculation about their relationship. Not sexual, not sexual, not sexual, adding gasoline to a cheap shot. Sayed can hit back at Vance and Trump. They attacked him first, and politics has never been Sunday school. But attacking the lady standing beside your male opponent is not necessarily a great move.
I don't like that part. Like, I don't know about Harp. But the first lady, like, why are you even bringing her up? Like, why? Like, she just had a baby. I feel for her. I get it. Like, why even bring up Usha? Like, why? Why drag her into this? The second lady. Like, I don't think that's cool of him. That to me is like brown on brown word violence. And I don't like it.
Well, Sayed is very butch, right? That's part of his whole. He's very bro-y. I don't really like that aspect about him.
I don't like that either.
But
with the t-shirts and the flex, and he talks and points like this.
It doesn't do anything for me. I think it's retarded, but obviously it's easy for me to say since I don't have that like super butch thing going on.
He's got that millennial. He's trying to give that millennial BDE energy. The BDE.
Ask him if he would condemn Muhammad for consummating a marriage with a 9-year-old girl. I mean, seriously, if he's going to go after J.D. Vance over his grandfather, and I'm no fan of J.D. Vance, then go ahead and make that shot. Go ahead and take that shot. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, it's also true you don't know anything about J.D. Vance's grandfather, and it's sort of an assumption, like, oh, if you're a rural Kentuckian white guy, you're by definition racist, and you don't know that. You don't know anything about this guy at all.
My grandmother would not let Kizzy into her house, so I mean there was real.
Okay, well, that would be an example where if that shot were leveled at her, that would be fair. But in this case, we don't know anything about this guy.
We don't know anything about Papa Vance.
Well, that's the point that I'm making.
He might have been a big liberal. He might have been like, a big friend of the blacks, as they say.
Yeah, because Kizzy she wasn't allowed in, so I wouldn't go in either. And after our daughter was born, all was forgiven, and Kizzy became the favorite black person. But it took the birth of our daughter to make it happen. So I mean,
I have friends.
If you're gonna listen, Sayed, he's not doing himself any favors. Being this
I think
way.
it's a bad.
I think what he was thinking was like, well, Sayed, Vance was going after Sayed and trying to smear him as some kind of radical Islamist, which is bullshit. And that, basically he's just trying to attack him as a Muslim. That's all it was. It's cheap. And then, it's saying like, oh, my papa wouldn't understand any of this. It's like, well, so then he's like, oh, let me think of a papa insult for you. I mean, I personally might have gone for, I don't know, would papa like would your papa? How would your papa have felt about you sucking the president's dick? That would have been a little bit better. But
so JDC, our chief scientist in here, says, I don't have much against El Sayed, but I did see recently he tweeted that he has a 300-something bench, and I have never been more skeptical of something a politician said. He's saying he can bench 3.
I think that's bullshit.
Come on. Yeah. See, this is what I don't get. This is like you said, Ted, I don't know where the Democratic Party is going. I don't care, DS8, whatever. It's all Democratic Party, and it's ultimately going to come from the purse strings from the DNC. Who said that this is the direction we should go? Is the dudes should become as like bro max as possible, right? Like, oh, I'm benching 300 and I'm going to be a congressman. Like, what? Like, no, dude, like, why?
Yeah, I just don't care for it. But then the Natalie Harp thing, I don't think is really wrong. I think Natalie Harp thing is like, it's like, look, Trump,
but he didn't insult Natalie. He's kind of like taking a swipe a little bit at Usha and Papa.
Yeah, but he did insult Natalie, sort of. He referred to her. He just said, "Oh, Natalie, he's had a little too much iPad. He needs his rest." In other words, like he's your.
That's not an insult to Natalie.
No, it's also not like, it's not feeding into the narrative that she's having an affair with the president, which a lot of people have been talking about.
She is, and she jokes, and she knows about this nickname. Her nickname is the human printer. Because she literally follows the president around with a mobile printer, printing out on paper, giving him like happy stories about himself, and prints things, and she'll tweet as he's blabbering whatever, she's going to truth it for him. So it's her thumbs like typing on the
By the way, I will say Saeed kind of really fucked up today. He issued a statement about Hassan Piker, basically saying like, look, in so many words, like, everything that Hassan Piker says is not something I necessarily believe. He should not, once in politics, when you're playing defense, you are losing. He should not burn Hassan Piker. He should, even if he privately is pissed off with stuff that Hassan says, he can have it out with Hassan, but he should, in public, maintain a solidarity front. That's what Trump does with his people. And that's what everybody should do.
Not a good look. Not a good look for him to take blows at the women.
Hold on, Ted. You just said something that's factually untrue. You just said Trump doesn't ever take shots at his people. He is famous for burning his people down
after he's done with them.
I mean, he just
he was kind of shitting on Jeanine Pirro just recently. Was shitting on Judge Jeanine, and then now she's in line.
That's true.
But he didn't shit on Kristi Noem even like until he pushed her out. He wasn't like she's fucking wackadoo and dog killer. Like he didn't do any of that. So
he's mad about people killing
or
dogs.
Pam Bondi. He was
Trump's
nice
not
about
loyal.
that.
Nah, all right, you're fair. That's fair. I'm not saying he's really loyal. I'm saying that there's a and that, by the way, I'm just saying that's a perception that like it's just like maybe not good to be seen throwing your ally under the bus, even if they deserve it.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I don't care who you are. You do that behind closed doors.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So estrogen may physically reshape the brain's memory center. Estrogen does far more than regulate reproduction. Oh, who knew? New research suggests it may physically change the brain's memory center as hormone levels rise and fall. University of Delaware, I think they have a library named after Joe Biden there. Researchers followed female rats. Oh, this is right up JDC's alley. Following female rats through their 4-day reproductive cycle using magnetic resonance elastography, or MRE. The specialized MRI sends tiny vibrations through the brain to measure tissue stiffness and viscosity, meaning how easily that tissue moves or changes shape. Researchers focused on the hippocampus, the region that helps form memories and retrieve information and navigate familiar places. So when estrogen levels drop sharply after ovulation, the hippocampal tissue became nearly 40% more viscous. Think less fluid and less flexible. The rest of the brain showed no significant mechanical change, suggesting estrogen's effects were concentrated in this memory critical region. To test whether estrogen was actually responsible, researchers administered fulvestrant, a drug that blocks estrogen receptors. That stopped the normal cycle of mechanical changes and kept hippocampal viscosity elevated. Tissue analysis also revealed changes in neurons, dendritic spines, and astrocytes. Dendritic spines, or maybe dendritic spines, are tiny structures where neurons communicate. Astrocytes are support cells that regulate synapses, blood flow, and the brain's chemical environment. In plain English, hormone changes appeared to alter both the brain's wiring and the cellular scaffolding supporting it. In real life, consider a perimenopausal woman who suddenly struggles to retrieve a familiar name, loses her train of thought during a meeting, or puts her phone somewhere absurd. Researchers suspect erratic estrogen loss could disrupt hippocampal mechanobiology, possibly contributing to that so-called brain fog, which I thought I had, Ted, but it turns out I was pregnant. So thought I was perimenopausal. It turns out it was the other thing. But keep the brakes on. This was a small rat study. Okay, so not mice, the big ugly rats, involving 8 animals, and researchers did not test memory or behavior. Rats do not menstruate either. The study identifies...
Wait, rats don't menstruate?
I guess not. I mean, that's a JDC question. I don't know. The study identifies a plausible biological mechanism, not proof, that estrogen fluctuations cause forgetfulness in women. Human studies have to come next. If confirmed, MRE might eventually give doctors objective evidence for cognitive symptoms too often waved away as ordinary stress or aging. So that, I would say, Ted, that's a good thing for women of a certain age, because so many, from my understanding of my girlfriends who have gone through this, peri and are currently menopausal, they say a lot of the treatments are not covered by insurance because it's just considered, parts of aging and whatever. So more and more we're starting to see that we've branded it, perimenopause and menopause, like just, it's a part of aging, and it's not a health issue or a mental health issue or whatever. So this kind of study, I think, is greatly needed so that way it can be pushed into the umbrella of insurance for so many women, because it can really alter your life, like depending on how your body reacts to that lack of estrogen. I mean, like after I had the baby, I can't tell if it was because obviously I'm still going through sleepless nights, but more so right after the baby was born, those are like zero sleep. I wasn't sure if it was because I had the severe estrogen and hormonal drops. Like you drop by the 1,000-fold, like we're talking thousands in micrograms in your blood. Or if it was the sleep or both or whatever. And I wish there was a way to ease that. And I feel like if this advances in study, this could be a way to help a lot of women, not only in the perimenopausal phase or the menopausal phase, but postpartum phase. And I know you've been itching to talk about this Lindsay Clancy case, in which we can do another day, but for someone like that, right? Like because of the crazy drops in hormonal levels and whatever.
I am.
So
yeah, I do want to talk about that case a lot.
I guess we do need that study badly. We know a lot about erectile dysfunction, Ted.
Too much.
So I would like for us to know more about the mysteries being the female body. We just don't know enough. So there you go. Anything to add before we do the last topic?
No, that sounds good. You have it covered.
Since I'm the only one with the maximum estrogen in here. You guys have it too.
That's true. We do.
Small amounts.
So your brain may operate less like a computer and more like an electrical jam session. MIT neuroscientists propose that cognition and consciousness emerge from traveling waves of rhythmic neural activity. These waves sweep across the cortex, recruiting groups of neurons and performing analog computations as they intersect, amplify, or cancel each other. In other words, thinking may partly involve wave interference, trippy, but grounded in electrophysiology. Traditional neuroscience emphasizes circuits and synapses, the connections that store memories, goals, and learned information. But synapses cannot rewire themselves every time you recognize a face or remember why you went into the kitchen. The brain needs something faster. Those are alpha, beta, and gamma waves. Slower alpha and beta oscillations appear to carry top-down info, including your memories and goals. Faster gamma waves process incoming sensory data. Traveling beta waves might act as control patterns that determine where gamma activity operates and which neural ensembles join the party. Neurons frequently practice mixed selectivity, meaning that one neuron can participate in several networks depending on the task. Wave dynamics may rapidly organize that free-for-all through spatiotemporal computing, controlling activities across space and time. Researchers also point to emphatic coupling, in which electrical fields generated by neural activity influence nearby neurons without relying on synaptic transmission. Consciousness, under this theory, appears when traveling waves organize your cortex into a globally integrated state. General anesthesia adds intrigue. Drugs with different molecular actions all disrupt large-scale wave organization as your consciousness vanishes. So this is a theory. It's not a solution to what constitutes consciousness. We still need direct evidence that brain waves perform these calculations. If this turns out to all be true, this concept could influence treatments for just things like disrupted neural coordination, including autism. Because brainwaves can be manipulated non-invasively, tomorrow's neurology may involve simply retuning electrical rhythms rather than medicating receptors.
Don't we already have something, like the U.S. military already has something like created through DARPA that we used in Venezuela that like sent like weird brain waves to like the Venezuelan soldiers or whatever, and they started puking and like curling up into a ball. Yeah,
it does sound like our kind of thing.
Yeah, that's you didn't hear about that? You need to look at the reports, the fuller picture of the Venezuelan accounts of what happened the night that they kidnapped Nicolas Maduro. The Venezuelan soldiers were saying something weird came over them all at once, and their heads felt weird, and they were like lost. Some of them were puking, some of them curled up into fetal, and were just something was happening in their brains for a few minutes, long enough for them to go snatch Maduro. So there was some weird brainwave thing, and I believe this is similar to what we tested on our own people with the Havana syndrome thing, that we were trying to blame on Russia and we were trying to blame on Cuba. But I think it's ours. And
you don't think it was the cricket?
It was crickets chirping?
Yeah, remember the chirping crickets theory?
Yeah. No. I think because the Venezuelan soldiers said enough that it reminded me of Havana syndrome, that I was like, oh, we have some weird brainwave machine. I don't know how they deploy it. I don't know if it's like a sound thing but this article made me think of that, because it says right there that you can manipulate brainwaves without physically going in. So how is it administered? Like
Good
radiation?
Question.
Is it? I don't know. So, and by the way, JDC says that rat or mouse studies, rodent studies, are better at showing us what will not work on humans than what will work. So it's, I guess, like by way of, so DARPA probably tested this out on poor mice and rats too. But this, I don't know if that's how you figure consciousness, though. And this is where you can get philosophical, and I don't think we have time to get all philosophical, but I feel like human consciousness is more than just like waves and synapses and neurons. Because there are people that have survived TBIs and they recover and they are different people completely. Take on different personalities, different whatever. They could become mean, they could become whatever. They could be completely different people. And because my mom had that TBI, I encountered some other families that, when I would take my mom to rehab or whatever, there were other families that shared stories with me. You're outside having a cigarette and people are out there talking and you share why you're there, who you're there with, what's happening. And some people reported to me that their loved one is not physically unrecognizable, mentally unrecognizable, that they're a completely different human being. Like completely different. Looking at them in the eyes is different. So I don't know. I mean, is consciousness who you are, you as a being, you as Ted Rall, are you reduced to neurons, synapses, and waves?
Well, probably to some extent. Maybe. Who knows?
I don't know. But I think this is like some crazy shit. And from what I learned from my old friend Mike Maloof, who was at the DoD for like 40 years, he told me basically if we're hearing about some whatever new device, new drone, new whatever, if we're hearing about it in the press, one, it was deliberate for us to hear about it, even if it's a leak, number one. And number two, it means we've nearly perfected the thing 5-10 years earlier already. So the Havana syndrome thing, that was, we heard about it 5 years ago, something like that, 5, 6, 7 years ago. And now the soldiers in Venezuela are saying they had weird brain feels. And now we're seeing these studies showing up saying, hey, we can change your, like, cognitively who you are, or at least in a mouse.
So, Manila, what are you going to do tomorrow?
What's tomorrow? Your birthday?
Tomorrow is my birthday, but that's not what I meant. I just meant what are we doing tomorrow for the show? Like I'm dying to. We have so many good stories to go. I mean, like,
well,
like all the ones I put into the feed, right? Like the Alzheimer's one. I put them up.
We could do that. We'll do that. Well, I've lost
track or the hotel bait and switch. I love that one.
I need to read that. Weird Wednesday? Yeah. Weird Wednesday.
Hotel bait and switch is good.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow's Wednesday, so we can be.
And what about what about the fraudulent DNA tests?
I haven't seen that one.
What are you talking about? I put it in the list, in the thing, about this guy who was basically, it turns out that the medical examiner's office in New York and probably other places, they convicted people. They faked DNA test results to send people to prison. So you're charged with attempted rape, and you are, and they basically they're like. The jury's like told,
scraping DNA.
Well, we know that it was him because his DNA is a perfect match, and it turns out to be a lie. The lab lied. The medical examiner's office lied.
You're saying white lab coat people are less than honest?
I'm saying, yeah. I'm just well. I mean, come on. Like if I were on a jury, and I was told by a prosecutor, "Come on, the DNA matches," I'd be like, "The fucker's guilty," And it's like because it's science. And it's like, well, apparently, the science can be lied about.
I need to search for it in the group chat. So
it's in the group chat from yesterday.
So there you go, Ted. It's Ted's birthday. I'm going to let Ted decide what stories he wants to cover.
The only thing you should ever have absolute faith in is religion. That's it.
That's hilarious.
I only know for sure death and taxes. That's it. So. There you go. All right, that does it. Join us tomorrow for Ted's birthday.
The Apple computer doesn't pay taxes.
Sir Bikeslot, thank you for the $1. Save the Clancy story for Weird Wednesday, please.
Yeah, well, we're waiting to see if she gets convicted, right? So
Well, it's not a. I mean, first of all, she's going to be convicted, and she ought not to be.
Why?
No, we're not talking about this now. We gotta go.
Because she was fucking crazy.
Gotta go. We're not. Nope. We gotta wait for the thing. Wait for the judge, the jury, all that.
Yeah, they're gonna fuck up.
So we'll see. We will see. Tomorrow is Ted's birthday. It is. It is Ted's stories for Ted's birthday.
All right. Bye.
Mañana. Join us
Bye-bye.
tomorrow. Bye. Thanks, everybody. Adios.